call.
Due to contractual obligations, we must leave this program to bring you the following event. Your teams, the heart of Atlanta, Valley Sports South and Valley Sports Southeast, the heart of the fan.
It's a celebration 26 years in the making. For the first time since 1995. How does this sound, Braves country? Your Atlanta Braves are world champions. They win the World Series in Houston tonight. Hometown kid Dansby Swanson with the assist. Max Fried with his brilliant starting performance. Travis d'Arnaud and Will Smith hug it out. And after 4+ decades, Brian Snitker is at the pinnacle. Packed house at Truist Park, inside and out. The battery's gone crazy. Fireworks everywhere. Yes, indeed, your Atlanta Braves are World Series champions in 2021. Wow! What a way to start Braves Live postseason, brought to you by our friends at Xfinity. Welcome to our battery stage, everybody. I'm Chip Carey. Thank you so much for joining us. Nick Green, Peter Moylan, Brian Jordan with you. What a night! This place is going nuts! We're world champions! We did it! Against all odds, against all comers, BJ, this Braves team defied the odds unlike any team I have ever seen.
And that's why it's so great that they came through. Give a lot of credit to Alex Anthopoulos, but this team showed up tonight. Max Fried was incredible. After the struggles, all the talk about tipping the pitches, he was phenomenal. And Soler, what can you say about this guy? He started the World Series off with a leadoff home run, and boy, did he end it with a 3-run shot to win tonight's game. Everything worked great for the Braves tonight. Unbelievable crowd. I feel so, hey, I want to go to Disneyland.
We might be able to arrange that.
What a great way to win the game, too. It was such an unbelievable effort from multiple people. As you said, Max, but all the way up and down the lineup, we got contributions from everybody like we did for the last 2 months of the season. Unbelievable effort by this Braves team. Alex Anthopoulos, Brian Snitker, Walt Weiss, every single person had a hand in this. That's why they're so excited. That's why we're so excited. This is unbelievable. I'm sweating and it's 27 degrees out here.
I just can't believe this happened this year. When you look at this season, the struggles they went through,
crazy.
They didn't have guys. They didn't have guys performing at the highest of levels at times, and they got it done at the end of the day. Brian Snitker finally took a breath today. I loved it. You can see it, the 4th World Series in franchise history. BJ, the first since 1995.
Wow.
It happened for a team, Chip, that won 88 regular season games.
Pretty amazing. That's the 3rd lowest win total in regular season play for a World Series champion in the history of the game. But who cares about 88, Brian Snitker? All you care about is the Final Four, and they won the last game they played.
How about Brian Snitker?
Yeah.
Changing the lineup today, moving Ozzie back in the lineup. And I said, Ozzie, Swanson, we're going to come up big today. And that's exactly what the Braves needed. Those two guys stepped up and really got the Braves going.
2 old school managers going toe-to-toe. Dusty did it yesterday. Snit did it today. I love the direction that the game's heading, if that's the way we're going, because it was awesome. Starting pitching was awesome. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about this team. Not just now. This is going to be a good team for a long time.
I love this team in general. I love when teams start to come together, too. This team came together at the right time, and they never gave up. They never quit. They ended the season on a 12-2 run. They felt like they could win the World Championship. They were able to do it. This postseason in general was incredible all the way around. I love what they did, winning the championship for Brian Snitker. By the way, 4 straight division titles. He's been the manager full-time for 5 years, and now he's won a World Series championship. Unbelievable. I don't know what else to say.
40+ years, as I said a moment ago. He's at the pinnacle of his profession. We have all night to talk about this amazing season for the Braves. But to cap it off, you had to win the 4th game of this World Series. The Braves, after not getting it done at home. I think went to Houston kind of disappointed. I think we all were wondering which Braves team is going to show up. Well, as we get to our four keys, we found out Peter, Brian, and Nick very early and very often.
I love this move, too. Moving Ozzie down in order. The best at-bats we've seen in this series for him.
Absolutely.
A leadoff single in a 2-strike count. And then Eddie Rosario takes a 5-pitch walk. He's been so good all this entire postseason. And BJ, what happens? They put Soler in the second spot. Does he come through at the beginning of the game?
Unbelievable, man. And boy, did he work the count. Got it to 3-2. Here's a 3-1 count, 3-2. Boom. And he hung it. You hangy, we bangy.
And what do you do,
BJ? Yeah, baby. Soler.
Shades of Albert Pujols against Brad Lidge over the train tracks. And he knew it, too. I love that part.
Look at the swag. Punch your chest. Look at your dugout. You got to love that, man.
BJ, no way that was 446. No way.
No.
That ball was absolutely destroyed.
It's still going, guys. That ball's still going.
They stopped tracking once it hits orbit, so they weren't able to catch it.
Well, Tuki Toussaint on social media said that might have been the farthest ball he's ever seen hit. Well, he didn't watch Peter Moylan pitch, obviously. However, point being, it really was a dagger in this ball game because the Astros, with 2 games at home, had a little momentum coming back into their home ballpark with Garcia pitching. Max Fried had struggled in his last 2 postseason starts. If they steal Game 6, then it's a real crapshoot for Game 7. Soler's blow really took any of the guesswork out of this game tonight.
Well, the best part about this was they kept adding on.
True.
Remember the Duvall Grand Slam?
Yeah.
You couldn't finish that game off, and they were able to finish this game off. But I love Soler's at bat in the 3rd inning. I want to go pitch by pitch with this thing because he got a bunch of off-speed pitches in this at bat. First pitch, cutter down and away. They don't want to give him anything down the middle. They stay away, chases on that one. You go fastball up, nice take, back to the breaking ball, down and away, check swing. That's the pitch you've got to hit right there. He fouls this one off. You kind of know where he's going to be as far as the slider is concerned. So where does he go? Fastball. But he hooks it down the line and then hangs that breaking ball again.
Whoa!
BJ,
that was a mistake.
He got 2 fastballs the entire bat. After the fastball that he pulled down the left field line, he knew he was going to get something off speed again.
Well, if you look back at his first at bat, he went 3-2 again. Yeah. But Garcia threw a nasty slider down and away, and it was strike 3. I guess Garcia thought he could sneak it by him again. Did not happen.
I tell you one thing, I was watching for the reaction of Dusty Baker after that home run, and you saw it instantly. He kind of looked down and he went almost like he should have made the move the pitch before. I know he had a lefty warming up to face Freeman, but in that situation, the matchup was righty-righty. You can't fault him for leaving Garcia in there. Unfortunately, he made a bad pitch, and Soler made him pay.
But as you guys know, in that ballpark, against that offense, the Astros offense is as good as any in Major League Baseball. Yep. A 3-run lead is not all that great. To your point, Nick, add-on runs were so very important. Yep. Take us to the 5th inning when the Braves really put this game out of reach.
Yeah, you go to the 5th inning, a 6-pitch walk by Ozzie Albies. Again, I mentioned this in his first at-bat we just talked about. He was so patient today. It was a completely different Ozzie Albies. D'Arnaud ends up striking out. You have a wild pitch. They got Ozzie to second base, which I thought was big as well. And then BJ, your boy, Dansby Swanson, comes through in a big way.
And you know what? After missing 2 sliders away, he comes back with a fastball. And Dansby does not miss. He goes, 2-run bomb. And that's when I knew it was over. Man,
really?
that was the dagger. That was the dagger right there.
Damn, okay. Soler comes up and draws a walk too, and then Freddie Freeman, we knew he was going to have a moment at some point. He goes off-o here, double off the wall with an RBI with 2 outs. Soler was running off the pitch. Outstanding inning by the Braves, and I was with you here. I had a little bit of breathing room, but nothing is comfortable with those Crawford boxes.
Add-on runs. What does that mean from a pitching standpoint, Peter, and Brian, from an offensive standpoint?
Well, it gives you confidence, and that's the most important thing. I said early in the game, they hit that 3-run homer. All they have to do is continue to score, be consistent, 1 run at a time, and that's what crushes a team. And the pressure was already on Houston, and they knew it was so tough to come back.
It allowed Max. You heard Smoltzy talk about it in the broadcast. When you're pitching in a 0-0 game compared to a 3-run lead and a 5-run lead, it allows you to relax. It allows you to attack the strike zone more. It allows you to force them to put balls in play and make more swings. They were taking strikes because he only had 40 pitches through 4 innings trying to get him to work. Unbelievable effort by Snit to pull him out. Awesome day.
Different game 2 than game 5 here in Atlanta. Duvall hits the home run in the first inning, the grand slam. It's a 4-run game. The Braves got the runs in the 3rd inning, the 5th inning. To Brian Chitker's point, he said, I wish we'd had those runs in the 6th or the 7th. Tonight's game, Nick, is an example of why he said that.
It is, and I think if they don't score for 3 innings after that 3-run 3rd inning, I don't know where they go. That gives Houston confidence they can come back. Well, they laid the hammer down with 3 runs in that 5th inning, and that was huge. And the D'Anthony Swanson home run was definitely a dagger. He had been struggling all series long. He had the 1 home run that tied the game up in game 4, but today, a big at-bat. This is a patient at-bat, too. Fastball, first pitch, ball. He goes fastball up and in, misses a spot. So he's in a 2-0 count, a good hitter's count. Misses a slider. Take a look at that swing. He pulls off in a 2-1 count, pulls off again, and slider back-to-back. What's he going to throw here? He's going to triple up. Dansby's starting to get on it.
Exactly.
So what happens now? He can't throw it 4 times in a row, and he can't sneak a fastball by him. Dansby stays close, BJ, long enough. It destroys his ball to left field.
I mean, just a great at-bat right there. You knew the slider, he was missing it all series long, and they kept throwing a constant diet of sliders, and he made the mistake. You can't throw a fastball in that situation to Dansby.
No question about it, the Braves' offense was terrific tonight. They hit 3 home runs. But I think that overlooks the big story in this game, which was, Peter, Max Fried. His last 2 starts in the postseason were not good. 11 runs, 13 innings. Tonight, Max Fried pitched like the best pitcher in baseball over the final 2 months when the Braves needed it most.
Let's not forget he gave up a single and then the error when they stood on his ankle. So there's runners on 1st and 2nd with none out of the start of this game. We're all panicking a little bit if we're honest, but then Max steps up and went to another level and punched out, ground ball, punch out, and I said to myself, we're okay. Max just went to somewhere special and we are going to be just fine because he was the Max that he was about a month ago. He was confident. He was hitting his spots. Look at this right here. I'm coming out of the game, if I'm completely honest. That looks like a broken ankle to any other human being, but somehow Max got out of it unscathed.
Shades of Tim Hudson in New York several years ago.
Exactly. But then he comes in, and Max is dotting with his fastball, okay? Fastball at 98 miles an hour. He's throwing all this weak contact in the 1st inning, all this weak contact all game. Showed me that he was locked. He was getting ground balls, double plays when he needed to, hitting spots when he needed to. All pitches were working. He was getting outside run on his 2-seamer. It was Max Fried, the ace we've been waiting for the last 2 weeks.
And one thing that we wondered what was going to happen, where is he going to locate his pitches? Could he locate away? That was the most important thing. He threw some changeups today. They were really, really good. But his arm side command with a fastball changed the ball game because we know where Houston's strength is, right? It's inside. He can still pitch in there if his command is there, but BJ, the fastball command was so important. He lived off the fastball early, but going outside to righties was a huge key for him.
Maximus was Maximus tonight.
Yes, he was.
And, you know, when he stepped on his ankle, Brantley, it looked like it woke him up. I mean, he got mad, and that was the demeanor that I was used to seeing out of Max Fried at the end of the season. So he returned to that and was a dominant pitcher.
I don't think this is the kind of professional Max is, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think the reason why he was mad was because he did such a bad PFP. No other reason. It wasn't that he stepped on his foot. He was mad because he didn't get over in time to get the out. I promise you.
Well, the tweets were coming in fast and furious. Jack Flaherty and Lucas Giolito were at the game. They were high school teammates of Max Fried. Look at that. Harvard Westlake in the building to support Max Fried tonight. How that trio didn't win a state championship is another story, Nick Green. But still, the support for Max Fried was outstanding today. And when the Braves needed it most, he was outstanding. I guess the only question is, why stop him after 6 innings? He was dealing tonight.
That's a good question, but we talked about this too. They had this plan set up before the game. They knew kind of what they wanted to do. And if they were going to go with Max for 5 or 6, they still had their guys. You saw Matzik go 2 innings today. They had the plan of him going 2. Now, would I like to have seen him go deeper in this ball game? Absolutely. I felt like he was on a roll. The pitch count was low. He looked like he was in a good place. Mentally, I felt like the 22-pitch inning did not affect him in the 6th. But the bottom line was he gave them 6 shutout, and it set the bullpen up right where they wanted it.
Yeah, I think the formula that's worked all year, Snip was like, why would I change now in the biggest game of the year? So to have Matzik come in and throw 2, he's been the best pitcher on planet Earth for the last month. So give the ball to him, have him go 2. Will Smith has closed out every game. He's matched some sort of numbers that Mariano Rivera has matched. He's the only guy to have 6 saves and 2 wins in one postseason. Then he gets another appearance tonight, another shutout appearance. Everybody was asking for his head 2 months ago, and now he's just won a World Series.
Well, it goes back to Game 5. Matzik was not used, and we talked about getting 2 days off, 2 days rest, going into Game 6 with Max Fried. So, did I expect it? No, I kind of thought he would go 7 innings, but I didn't mind it. You know, he gave us 6 strong innings. Matzik, who has dominated the postseason, went 2 innings. And really, I mean, everything worked so perfectly tonight.
It takes courage to trust the process in the biggest game of your life. And that's exactly what Brian Snitker managed tonight. Fortunately for him, the Braves had a 7-run lead in Game 6 of the 2021 World Series. The crowd here at the Battery is roaring. They're fired up. We know they're fired up down in Houston. Kelly Kroll and Paul Bird, our reporters down at Minute Maid Park. Let's check in first with Paul Bird, who's standing by with the Braves' great second baseman, Ozzie Albies, who's now a world champion. Paul?
Ozzie, Jaime Albies. Oh, my goodness, before the game, you moved in the 7th hole. You said, I don't care. I just want to win. How happy are you right now?
Super happy. You can't imagine. You can't imagine. I'm super, super, super happy. I don't even know how to describe it for you because I'm super happy.
How about the offense tonight? Unbelievable.
Yeah, we did an unbelievable job swinging the bat, and that's what got us here to win the game today.
Defense was great, too.
Yes, defense was good. The ball was put in play. We took care of it. All I can say was a great game.
Max Fried.
The best ever, like always. He goes and compete. Him, Matzik, and obviously Will Smitty that came in and closed the game for us.
All right, look into that camera and tell Braves country how you're feeling.
I'm feeling phenomenal, guys. You guys can't imagine. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, can't wait to see Ozzie Albies tomorrow. What a dynamo. That was one of the questions. We saw the effect of Dusty Baker changing the Astros lineup for Game 5. Would Brian Snitker change the lineup and move Ozzie Albies down, take a little pressure off for Game 6? The answer was yes. Did it work? Yes. And are the Braves world champions, Nick? Yes.
You know what the cool part about it is, though? Ozzie didn't get mad about it.
No.
He understands the process. So he's going to move down. He's going to give you good at-bats. It took the pressure off of him a little bit. I think hitting behind Freddie Freeman, he knew there was some pressure there. He's been a guy that's been driving runs in, and he's tried a little bit too hard in this series. He was 3 for 18 going into this game today. And today was a completely different Ozzie Albies. So give Snit some credit, but also, BJ, give Ozzie Albies credit, too.
He followed the formula. You saw Dusty Baker make that move at Bregman. It worked. Ozzie was struggling at that number 2 spot. Why not at number 3 spot? Why not move him back? He made that move. It was a bold move, but he's a smart manager. It needed to happen, and it was a totally different Ozzie Albies approach today at the plate. He took a first pitch, which I said, that's perfect. He is back on track.
You said that he had probably some of the better at-bats that he's had in the last couple of months. He was very patient, and that goes back to what you say, where the mindset of a hitter changes when you move him in the lineup. In that 3-hole, he's maybe trying to go bridge every time he's at bat. He's trying to do too much. He's trying to be that 3-hole hitter as opposed to letting him relax, move down the order, and all the pressure's taken off. That's a great point. I never thought of that way.
Yeah, that was my question for Nick and Brian. What does that do for a hitter? You answered that question. One thing that this lineup change did, it may have taken some pressure off the other Braves hitters, guys, because all of a sudden The at-bats were better. They were longer, saw pitches, and boy, were the results great with 3 homers tonight.
You know, I wanted to see everything shuffle up and Ozzie just slide down, maybe in the 5th spot somewhere there. But this worked. Jorge Soler's at-bats are so good. He's been so patient. He's not chasing out of the zone. Putting him in that 2 spot behind Ed Rosario in front of Freddie Freeman was huge today, too. But you're putting your guys in a position to succeed. And that's what Brian Snitker's done all season long. If something's not working for a period of time, he mixes it up. But guys are buying in.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest thing. If you have your guys buying in, they're going to have more success. And these guys bought in all season long.
Hey, Soler had the 2 most crucial at-bats in this game. Yeah. The first at-bat, he made Garcia throw a lot of pitches. Yeah, he struck him out that first at-bat. But he came back and forced him to throw a lot of pitches the second time, and Garcia made that mistake.
And got him out of the game.
Got him out of the game, and now we're in that bullpen, which we've seen the first 5 games. Dusty had no answers in that bullpen. Yep. He couldn't get around any new guys that the Braves haven't seen. And I think that was the difference of this whole postseason. They had no answers in the bullpen.
You're absolutely right. And in that at-bat, they had Rayleigh getting loose for Freddie Freeman. So if Soler gets out, he doesn't come into the game. He then goes on and starts that next inning against Freeman because the threat is probably neutralized. So Garcia gets to stay in the game. They don't go to their bullpen early. Who knows what happens?
But remember, too, Urquidy pitched in Game 5. He was supposed to pitch today.
Yeah.
Luis Garcia is a rookie who has never pitched on short rest. Guys with veteran experience that have pitched in the big leagues a long time this postseason have not had success pitching on short rest. So we knew there was going to be a short leash on Garcia, but the Braves out of the gate didn't get to him, right? Yeah. He looked great early on, throwing hard fastballs, good off speed. Well, at some point, the stuff's going to get a little bit weaker, and the Braves took advantage. But again, it's one of those moves in the postseason. You take that chance. You pitch Urquidy, not knowing what's going to happen in Game 5, and all of a sudden he's not available today.
Well, we said as disappointing as it was not to clinch in Game 5, the silver lining of that was the Braves had their starting staff and their bullpen lined up exactly how they wanted it for Game 6 and if needed for Game 7. And in a 7-0 game, it may be hard to think, well, the manager had a big role in that. Well, that was the case tonight with the points that these gentlemen made a moment ago. Not just tonight, but all year long. Remember, it took 110, 111 games for this Braves team to get over 500 this year.
Yeah.
Who kept it together? Brian Snitker.
Yep.
Can you imagine what this moment is like for him? 40-plus years as the manager of the Atlanta Braves? Well, we're about to find out.
Let's go.
Snit is standing by with Kelly Kroll.
45 years in the making. How gratifying is it to be standing here looking down at your T-shirt that says World Champions?
I know, really. I've been asked. I told them guys. I said, "Look, what's my hat say?" It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great feeling. You know, you work so hard and give up so much, and these guys this year especially to do what they did is just unbelievable. To my, just how they hung in there and just stayed after it. I just keep seeing the 111 days or something before we got over 500. This is amazing that we're in this position right now with what all these guys went through. That's what I'm so proud of them and the organization and Alex and his team and everybody up top. I mean, this is a team celebration.
You mentioned in '95 being with Single A Durham and kind of watching the title come.
Yeah.
Does it mean something more to you now with that journey to lead this team back to another championship?
It does. Especially when I got here. Freddie and I talk about this all the time. When I got here in '16 and where we were, and right now we're hoisting a World Championship trophy. It's surreal.
Ronnie's in tears.
I know.
Have the tears started?
I know. Yeah, I mean, she's been through a lot. I mean, just not me. It's been her too, boy. Probably more so than me, that what she did to allow me to have a career and to be standing right here.
Is it even sweeter after what you said about this team being at 500 midway through the season and overcoming all the adversity that you did?
Yeah, no, it does. It's everything that these guys went through. It does. It makes us right now just really, really special anyway, but where we were starting out and to finish here and play the last game of the year and win it, it's awesome.
What are you going to remember most about this group and this year?
I don't even know. I mean, it's going to be things that I sit in my chair and remember a lot of things. Just the perseverance and how these guys hung in there, probably.
You said you were numb. When do you think the feeling comes back?
Yeah, I don't. It's the first time to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll let you know.
Okay, we'll check back in.
Okay.
Smith, congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think we all can't wait to find out what that feeling's like when the Braves get home tomorrow. We celebrate with a World Series parade in the next 48 or 72 hours. Think about this. The Braves at one point on June the 16th were 7.5 games out of first place.
Yeah.
They didn't get over 500 until August 5th. They played .667 baseball over the final 2 months, got to the playoffs, and lost only 1 game at home en route to their second World Championship in Atlanta. It's absolutely remarkable, guys, the job that Brian Snitker did. Here are the numbers, 37-19 after the trade deadline. All those guys did such a great job. And I asked Brian Snitker on the bench earlier this summer, how you doing this? He said, look, we've got a good team, and this will be so satisfying when we end up winning this division. This one, the Braves were under 500. They were 5 games out of first place, and I asked him, was finishing in first place as good as the fantasy of doing it? And he said, oh, yeah, absolutely. But nothing compares to a World Series championship. And he got one in large part because Jorge Soler was the MVP of the World Series. A no-doubt homer over the train tracks in Houston. Braves shut out Houston. They win the World Series, Atlanta. 7-0 is your final. More on Braves Live from a raucous Battery Atlanta after this. Braves Live is brought to you by Landmark Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. By Xfinity XFi. Experience a powerful and secure Wi-Fi connection for all of your devices. And by Georgia Natural Gas. Go green and save some too with G&G. Braves country. We're world champions. One reason why. Great play by Austin Riley. He had a great World Series, had a terrific postseason. He too standing by with Kelly Kroll down in Houston, Texas.
Austin, there's Cloud 9 and there's calling yourself a World Series champion. What are you feeling right now?
A lot of emotion. You know, this is unbelievable. It really is. You know, to think to where we were, you know, halfway through the season and now to call ourselves world champions, you know, it takes a lot of gut, a lot of, you know, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of tears, sweat, you know, everything. And these guys, they never stop believing. And, whoa, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Getting run over.
It's rough over here.
No.
Thank you, by the way, for saving me.
It's just incredible, you know, to do it for Snit, Freddie, those guys that have been around here a long time. It's unbelievable.
You talk about that belief. When do you think this club really started believing they had what it took to be standing here right now?
You know, I think, you know, once we, you know, made those a couple accusations and got Soler, Jock, Duvey, you know, it seemed like things just started clicking. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And once we got on a roll, you know, that confidence just continued to build. We're world champions.
What do you think about Mike Soroka getting to be part of this over here?
It's awesome. I know, you know, he's gone through a lot.
You think you're going to get away from me?
I'd say it's a bright future for the world champions, don't you?
I completely agree.
You guys go enjoy this. I know you're headed to the podium.
There are so many players on this Braves team who personify the struggle of getting to the playoffs and eventually winning the World Series. Austin Riley might be at the top of the list. If you think back to the first 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks of this season, there were a lot of folks in this town who were wondering, well, what is Austin Riley? And 2, do we need to go get a third baseman? Were you guys on that list?
I was on that list for sure.
BJ was me. I'll give you credit, BJ. You were not on that wagon. You wanted Austin Riley be the guy.
I am Austin Riley's biggest fan, and I believed in him when nobody did, and he proved me right. I mean, this kid was consistent, one of the most consistent players outside of the early start of Freddie Freeman. Both of these guys struggled early. But you got to say, Austin Riley carried this team when they were down. And then all of a sudden, Freddie started helping out and getting into a groove. But this guy defensively has really and probably should be in the talks of a Gold Glove third base because he was phenomenal all season long at defense and offense.
I just want to clarify, this wasn't an Austin Riley thing. This was just, I felt like we needed to win this year, and Jose Ramirez would have been that guy to help us maybe get to that point. Turns out I was completely wrong, and that's why I'm sitting right here and not anywhere near the front office.
You know, when I watch Austin Riley, I felt like there was going to be a time where he would be this player that he is now.
Yeah.
After those first two weeks of the season, it just didn't seem like it was going to happen. And all of a sudden, he continues to trust the process. Yeah, he's a guy that struggled last year. How was he going to react after the short season? He believed in himself, kept working, kept getting better, kept making adjustments when he needed to, and he never stopped believing in himself. And we knew he was going to be a good player. We knew he had power. We knew he was an athlete. But right now is being the player who he is. That's what we're going to see moving forward as well.
Look, we're all biased. We love Austin Riley. We love what Austin has done this year. It's easy to laugh at Peter. What does Austin Riley's postseason performance individually do, and what does him being part of a World Series championship team do for his MVP candidacy, Brian?
Wow.
Well, usually postseason doesn't matter. They go by the regular season. And to me, the way Austin Riley finished by lifting his team up into the playoffs, he should definitely be in consideration. Now, to go back to Austin Riley, the reason why I love Austin Riley is because he's so humble and he understands learning from others.
Yeah.
Chipper Jones has been in his ear all year long, and he took direction early in the season from Chipper. And to me, when you listen to others who have been successful, good things happen. And Austin Riley became that complete player that we thought he could.
How can you not love a guy that during the All-Star break doesn't go on vacation, but goes back to his house in Mississippi and pressure washes mud daubers off the side? That's exactly what Austin Riley told me he did during the intermission of this regular season. Braves beat the Astros 7-0. Kelly is standing by down in Houston. She has another guest. Braves are world champions. Let's join her.
For you, this is back-to-back world champion. Can that sink in? Can you process it in this moment? And if so, how?
Speechless. This group of guys, no one thought we could be here, but we all stuck together. We climbed back when they thought we couldn't, and now look at us, baby. World champs, they can't stop us now. Come on.
You said, when I asked you, if one of these guys stepped up to you and asked what it would take to be here, you said a little bit of luck. We had that. Why was this group the one that had that?
I don't know. You just feel it. You feel the chemistry, the culture. We had something special going, and that's why it didn't matter how many times we get knocked down. We get back up, show what we have. Everyone stepped up, different person every night. Special.
How is this one different for you?
I'm here now, enjoying the Braves. It's incredible. Can't believe it. It's just speechless.
Enjoy it.
I think, guys, incredible and speechless are two ways to talk about the three shifts of outfielders that the Braves employed. This is the opening day outfield for Atlanta.
Wow.
Ozuna broke his fingers. Pache didn't hit. Acuna eventually got hurt right before the All-Star break. Second shift for Atlanta. You had Eddie Adrianza, Abraham Almonte, Guillermo Heredia, Orlando Arcia in the outfield. And then at the trade deadline, Alex Anthopoulos went out and parachuted 4 everyday-type players who could go to work for Atlanta. Eddie Rosario, who was hurt at the time of the trade. Adam Duvall, who killed us all year while in Miami. And then Jock Peterson, who came in hot, cooled off, and had some huge hits in postseason play.
Yep.
But Jock Peterson, guys, really stabilized things until the Braves got to the deadline and were within striking distance of the Mets and the Phillies. I've never seen a year where you had 3 shifts of outfielders contribute the way this collective group did here in 2021.
Yeah, when Jock came in, it kind of settled the clubhouse a little bit. And I want to give a quick shout out too to Stephen Vogt.
Yeah.
Stephen Vogt came in, and I said when he came in that he's a real clubhouse guy. And what he's done in that clubhouse has gone unsung because we don't see it. We don't see him perform on the field. But those two guys in Jock and Stephen Vogt lost my moment for a moment there. They solidified that they gave an air of confidence to this clubhouse who was really struggling to get over that 500 line. Freddie's Freddie, Austin was Austin, but they brought a swagger, I guess you'd call it, and I don't want to say swagger. It was more of a confidence, an injection of stability, I guess it was. Yes, exactly. That's a great word. And then Soler wasn't even mentioned on that list too. So the fourth outfielder has obviously made a massive impact too.
I know Soler got the MVP, but the true MVP is Alex Anthopoulos, making those moves and giving his team hope and giving the fans hope for that matter, because when Acuna went down, we thought it was over.
Yeah.
And when he made those trades, to go 4 for 4 in trades is unbelievable. All of those guys were successful, and you're right. The team chemistry, the clubhouse, much better, and it showed on the field.
That's so hard to do mid-season too. We've all been on teams when the new additions come in.
I've never seen anything like these numbers, though.
Yeah.
It's one thing to make trades, but, Nick, it's another thing to have trades that are as impactful as these. Rosario, Soler, Peterson, and Adam Duvall.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words, because when you look at those four guys, you look at guys that struggled this season with their former teams. And all of a sudden they come over, they get a jolt of energy. Well, you look at the Jock Peterson thing, and he brings that energy to this club. Alex Anthopoulos, BJ, World Series MVP. I kind of wish that he would have gotten that trophy too, because he definitely deserved it. But for what Alex did, finding the right guys to fit with this team, that's hard to do.
And Alex has always said, and you guys can speak to this better than anybody, it's not just about what a player does between the white lines. It's about what the player is like behind the scenes. And Alex picked up great people as well as great players. We will talk about that and a whole lot more tonight. The celebration continues in Houston, Texas. The Atlanta Braves, after 88 regular season wins, against all odds, against all comers, are world champions in 2021 and will continue from Atlanta, where the party continues after this. Braves Live is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. And by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers, welcome.
It is my desire to call a World Series soon at SunTrust Park, and you will be the happiest thing to happen. So when that happens, just know, in my heart, you know who I'm rooting for, but I do have to be neutral, so to speak.
I think Braves country would say unanimously, John, what took you so long? 5 years after that speech at Turner Field, we celebrate our first world title here at Truist Park. The battery is turned, as my kids like to say. It's lit. They are fired up, as are Brian Jordan, Peter Moylan, Nick Green.
Out.
And you're out? What do you mean you're out? Can't be out. It's a celebratory night. What a night for the Braves. First World Series title since 1995. What can you say about not just Brian Sittker and his coaching staff? We'll get to that in a minute. You heard John Smoltz a second ago. He, too, standing by with Paul Bird. A dream come true for Smoltzy behind the mic in Houston, Texas tonight.
Hall of Famer John Smoltz, another guy who won a World Series with the Atlanta Braves. What are these guys feeling right now?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's what you dream of, right? You leave spring training, you always want a dogpile, but you want a dogpile knowing that it's it. You win a championship. Yeah. And I'll tell you what they're feeling more than anything is a sense of pride, and nobody gave them a chance, right? We were supposed to win in 95. We had a lot of pressure on us to win. This was a team that had no chance to winning based on what experts thought come August because of all the injuries. And then it all came together. I call it the it factor. You can't have analytics that talk about that. And they had what you need in a clubhouse to persevere through all of it. And I think it's similar to 91, even though 91 will always be the first year that shocks everyone. But what they won despite the odds.
Look at me. You don't have to be biased now. How are you feeling inside? Because you said at your Hall of Fame speech you couldn't wait to call a World Series in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I had to be professional, and I think I did, because everybody in the world knows I played for Atlanta, and I'm sure they were assuming whatever they wanted to assume. But yeah, I mean, there's a sense of pride. Everybody who played for the organization knows what this means for the city, knows how long it's been, and that everyone talks about Atlanta as not a championship-type town and the team that always kind of lets you down. And this gives such great hope for not only the future, but for other teams. You could tell the basketball players came to the game. You could tell football players want to see championships. And I can tell you right now that for all the greatness that we went through, it was way too long to have another one. This is pretty cool.
How do you feel for Brian Snicker?
Well, I've known Brian forever. My first time getting traded over, he was the instructional leader, kind of the coach. I feared him. I was afraid of him. I thought he was a general of SNIT. And then I saw the soft side of him. He used to catch us on a spring in a little seat, a little thing, and I knocked him off that thing, ruined his knee. I feel bad about that. But this is a guy that under Bobby Cox did everything you could do. Humility, probably wasn't supposed to be here. And he's here doing what Bobby did and leading men, and couldn't be happier for him.
It's only fitting last question about the pitcher, Max Fried. You have a great reputation of being so clutch in the playoffs. How clutch was Max tonight?
It's what you got to have. It's the attitude I saw him go to when the play didn't get made at first, got stepped on, first and second, nobody out. You could see the wheels were turning. He went to the next level. When you pitch a game like this, you can't even say, you got to say Ian Anderson next year. You don't give anybody else a chance. He didn't. I'm sure he wanted to go deeper. I'm sure he wanted to go 7 or 8, but the fact that he went 6 shortened the game for Brian Snicker, and it was the perfect formula.
Congratulations. You called a World Series for the Atlanta Braves.
I know, it's kind of full circle. I never thought it would happen. I thought in the last couple of years they had a great chance, and I can check that off my bucket list.
Speaking for all of Braves country, well done, Atlanta Braves. Well done, John Smoltz.
And hopefully for John, the first of many world championships that'll call for the Atlanta Braves, who won 88 games in the regular season. The New York Mets in 1973 won 82 games. The St. Louis Cardinals in 2006 won 83 games. To John's point, nobody thought the Braves would be sitting here in early November hoisting the Commissioner's Trophy, but here they are.
I said it about 3 weeks ago. We've all said it numerous times on this show that it's not always the best team that wins the World Series, as the Nationals had to prove to us in 2019. That must have really hurt this Braves organization to see a team like that fight the way they did through the All-Star game and just pummel their way through the playoffs and win the World Championships. Now the Braves did the same thing. Yeah. I'm not saying they learnt from them, but the formula of having a couple of old guys around, surrounded by an old school manager who's accepted some of the new analytics and has the people around him to help him through the decisions. Every decision that was made this World Series was spot on. Kudos to you, Snit, and your team. Amazing job.
Brian, you played in the 99 World Series. What does a championship like this mean to you now that you're a broadcaster and not a player?
Well, it makes me cry that I didn't win one because, I feel like crying tonight because this team really deserved it. And, they showed me a lot at the end of the season. To come together and gain that momentum at the right time is so important. When fans stopped me in the street and said, do you think the Braves are going to do it? I said, you know what? This is a special team. And Alex Anthopoulos made those moves, and the team came together. And it's not just one person, two people in this lineup. It was everybody in the lineup getting it done. Yep. And when that bullpen came together and came together as a family, I knew we had a chance this year, and sure enough, they proved us right.
It's all about the leaders to me. I mean, you have Freddie Freeman, who struggled early. We know he's not going to be the guy he was early on in the season. Well, he's going to be the Freddie Freeman that ended up hitting 300 with his 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. That's who he is. Those guys lead this team, and it's so important to have them on the field. By the way, Greg Maddux threw out the first pitch the other day, and it was a wild pitch, by the way. Eddie Perez had to go up and out, but you can see the tweet, proud to have worn a Braves uniform, drink up, World Series. How about Dale Murphy? Get him into the Hall of Fame. I love that guy, Chip. He's one of the best.
I think we all love Dale Murphy, and I personally am going to take Greg Maddox's advice. Braves country, we toast you. Ian Anderson's next start will be in 2022, guys, and he'll do it as a world champion. He's standing by with Kelly Kroll.
I found myself tearing up watching what this is like for you?
Yeah, it feels awesome. You always dream of it, but now that we actually got it done, it's just a test of all these guys out here. We've been through so much, and to come out on top feels pretty sweet.
It isn't supposed to work like this, right?
I know. I feel pretty fortunate. 2 years, and I've had 2 pretty good experiences. So, that's a credit to Alex. He put together a great team, and the coaching staff, and really everyone involved. We never had our doubts during the season, and I think that kind of showed as the playoffs rolled on. We got going.
I know you heard a lot about, even though 1995, I don't even want to ask how old you were then. You weren't even, that's what I was afraid you were going to say. So what does it mean to know you've brought another title back to Atlanta?
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been alive for some of the other stuff that's happened, so I'll just leave it at that. But
fair enough.
For us to get it done, the fans were awesome. They were the only people you could hear at the end, so that meant a lot to us.
What did you think about Max Fried's performance tonight? I know you were there watching him in his last 2 and how frustrated he was. He made a statement tonight, did he not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was gutsy, and he did what we needed him to do and then some. So, that's the kind of guy Max is. He wants the ball no matter how his last few have gone, and we have all the confidence in the world in him, and he showed that tonight.
I heard you say, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. When do you think it will sink in?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a whirlwind here for a little bit, hopefully. So, yeah.
Enjoy the celebration, Ian.
Thank you.
Last time a left-hander pitched a shutout in World Series play in Game 6, things turned out exactly the same. You might recall Tom Glavine doing that for Atlanta. And Max Fried tonight, fellas, became the first starting pitcher in this World Series to complete 6 innings. The game has changed, and the Braves staff needed to lean on the bullpen. We were talking, guys, you could have made a case for Tyler Matzik to be the MVP of this World Series, but overall, there are no complaints about the way the Braves pitched a very good Houston offensive lineup.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable World Series. They kept them at bay for the first 3 games. They got a little bit comfortable in Game 4, but Max Fried put the hammer down today and showed exactly why he's going to be an ace for this club for a long time. You said it, the game has changed, but people are always going to value ace starting pitchers. Don't forget this was going to be Charlie Morton's, yesterday, 2 days ago, was going to be Charlie Morton's start. So we've missed Charlie Morton. Talk about stepping up in a big way and replacing such a massive loss and not allowing this to go to Game 7, because that would have been a panic game for us. Every single person in Braves country would have been absolutely sitting on the edge of their seat, I watch my words, watching that game if we went to a Game 7. But Max said, no chance. Give me the ball. I'm going to take care of this. Tyler Matzik, the same thing. The bullpen, the whole World Series, the whole playoffs. I think they maybe gave up 4 runs for the whole postseason, maybe 5 runs for the whole postseason. The 4 main guys, I'm saying. So unbelievable job by them. And to be able to rely on those 4 guys at the end of the game almost every night, incredible.
How about Tyler Matzik in a year of just unbelievable heavy workload and success, knowing his personal journey, the ups and downs out of baseball, signed, Walt Weiss recommends him, he comes back. Tyler Matzik struck out the last 4 hitters he faced in the World Series and finished with a sub.9 ERA, Nick.
Well, when you have a guy like Matzik that can get lefties and righties out, it doesn't matter where they put him. Well, they went up against the Astros wanting him to face left-handed hitters, but today he did what he does. I mean, you go back to the LCS, and we all think about when he punched out the side against LA. Yeah, that was a dominant outing. But he was dominant throughout the entire postseason. Today, having him throw 2 shutout was important, but Brian Snitker trusted him, knew he could do it with a day off yesterday, and I don't know, I just feel like Matzik is one of those guys that you really, really appreciate when you see him go out there and battle every time out.
Peter, what's it like to be on a roll like Tyler Matzik is on? Regular season, postseason, doesn't matter. I mean, the man was virtually unhittable with the exception of maybe 1 outing in this World Series.
There's been moments in my career when I've been on rolls like that, but there's never been something where I was able to lead into and finish off. Tyler Matzik has been hot since about 2 weeks after they introduced the new sticky things. He figured something out and he found himself, and he's been lights out ever since. He has not stopped all the way through. Normally the saying is, I don't want the season to end because you're not playing for anything. For him, the season's done. He's achieved everything you want to achieve, and he's basically carried us to the promised land.
Since we're talking about pitchers, I got to say, the way Charlie Morton ended this season, to me, meant something to this team.
Yeah.
Because he stuck it out for one more inning to get that big strikeout. And his teammates appreciated that. And I think sometimes when things like that happen, it builds character in the team. And the team really wanted to win it, but also win it for Charlie because he just had surgery. He's missing this time in Houston tonight. But nobody's forgotten about the guy who really got him there and pitched big all season long. So this pitching staff is like a family. And Max Fried took the torch today and went out there and took the bull by the horns and won the game tonight. It was unbelievable. I loved it.
And let's not forget what this pitching staff went through in 2021.
Yeah.
Remember, Max Fried to the injured list early in the season. They were hoping to get Mike Soroka back halfway through the year. He retore the Achilles tendon, lost for the year, never threw a single pitch. Huascar Ynoa was on his way to the All-Star game. Broke his hand. It was one body blow after another, yet somehow, some way, Rick Kranitz, with all the established guys and all the young guys that came up from the minor leagues and filled critical spots in rotation, found a way to get the Braves to the promised land, and, of course, with the help of Tyler Matzik. Those two gentlemen are at the podium. Let's hear from them down in Houston, Texas.
Pitching coach Rick Kranitz, everybody. First question, do cigars taste better when you're World Series champions?
Yes, they do, especially if they're Padrones, right? I mean, those are the best in the world for me, right? And George was, Padron was kind enough to ship us 4 boxes to win it and to celebrate with him. So it was awesome. Yeah, they taste a lot better with the tonight.
You may be getting more boxes coming soon. How proud are you of the bullpen and this guy standing to the left of me?
Well, you know what it was? These guys, all year long, they've all been together, right? I just said they would rather give up their own runs than give up one of their guys' runs, right? That's just who they are, right? And it was an absolutely incredible run. You know, I don't know if it's ever been, I mean, I guess it's been done before, but to see what they did, it was phenomenal, right? I mean, it's hard to put into words how they got it done in the toughest of times. And when he, I mean, I knew it as soon as he punched out the 2 guys, you know, second and third, 1 out, I think it was. I don't know, maybe nobody out. And I said, man, this is going to be special, right? I mean, this is it, right? He got everybody so fired up, just like when Max did when he got stepped on, right? It was like that fired everybody up. And then he goes back out. I said, man, he's going to have to break his leg like Charlie did for him to not go out, right? And it was absolutely phenomenal. But these guys get all the credit because they make the pitches and they do the job, right?
Stay right here. Don't leave.
All right.
Is this guy a good pitching coach? What do you like about him?
Fantastic. His energy is never dull, and he's always checking in with us, always making sure we're in the right spot, right state of mind, and he's been unbelievable. At this level, it's all about the mental game, and he's been fantastic with it.
You have a cult following in Atlanta. I think you know that, but you have quickly attained cult status in Atlanta. What's it like pitching in front of these fans tonight, back at your place, and doing the job?
I think it has a little bit to do with Luke going ahead and making that tweet, what he said. So I appreciate that. But, yeah, man, I'm just so happy to bring a title back to Atlanta. I know this city's been needing one for a while, and I'm so happy that our guys were able to provide that for the city of Atlanta.
Max Fried tonight getting stepped on. I don't know how his ankle's not broken, but it wasn't. And then he turned around and was a gamer.
Yeah, that was the on switch for him, honestly. I think it pissed him off to where he was like, hey, we're out here, we're playing baseball, let's go. And, nobody cares about how you're feeling or what's going on. It's all about winning, and we went ahead and did what he needed to do, man. That guy dominated. We believed in him 100%. We knew if we had a good start out of him, we had a great chance of winning this game, and that's exactly what happened. He went out there, showed the world, really, what Max Fried was all about.
An incredible reliever, an incredible pitching coach, and some really incredible cigars.
Oh, boy. Woo!
They're victory cigars, Paul. We'd expect nothing less. And I think Tyler Matzik, Peter, was exactly right. Getting stepped on sent Max Fried's game to another, shall we say, angry and effective level.
Yes, he was in another stratosphere, but I told you, I don't think it had anything to do with the physical pain. I think it was purely the fact that he missed the PFP, and that's how professional he is. That's what Max does. He's going to win another Gold Glove this year. He was clearly flustered the fact that he missed the base. No other reason. He decided that's it. 97, 97, 97. See you later.
And it was see you later. 6 shutout innings for Max Fried, who I know can't wait to have his pitching cohort, Mike Soroka, back in rotation at some point next year. Mike Soroka's been through so much, as has the rest of this Braves team. Let's get his thoughts on your 2021 World Champion Atlanta Braves.
Mike, I know this was probably very challenging for you to watch from the sidelines, but what you're just all smiles. Like, you have to be so proud of this group.
Yeah, you have to be. Like you said, I mean, it's not an opportunity you get very often. And, I mean, it's something that, you know, I don't think it really hit me until about the 6th inning. And, you know, you start counting the outs. And you start looking at the smiles around the bullpen. And, you know, you're thankful that you're here because, you know, really the only other championship story that I have is with the Rome Braves. And to be able to do it with the real Braves, and I mean, it's something else. And, you know, I can't imagine doing it again next year. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to be back on the mound and, you know, like we said, compete, get after it.
But what did you just tell me? Because the future certainly looks bright for the squad. What did you say about?
Yeah, we got to do it again. I mean, it's the same thing as I got told after one good season was anybody can do it once. We want to be right back here again next year, and I know for a lot of these guys they want to enjoy it tonight, but you know, a couple of us have been thinking about next year since June, so I can't wait. Braves country should be very, very excited. I hope Braves country parties real hard tonight.
Can you imagine what's going on in Truist right now?
No, I can't. I've heard how many people were at the Battery the last few nights, and I hope they enjoy it. They deserve it. You know, we're writing history, and it's a new era. I can't wait.
Oh, we're so excited for you, Mike. Enjoy this one, and we look forward to talking to him again next year and the year after and the year after.
Exactly. We'll see you in spring training.
Perfect.
Thank you.
To paraphrase the great Larry Munson, the longtime voice of the Bulldogs. Man, oh man, can you imagine the property being enjoyed tonight? We are enjoying it at the Battery because the Braves are the champions of Major League Baseball in 2021. Braves Live is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Truist, BB&T, and SunTrust are now Truist. We'll never get tired of looking at those highlights, especially that one. The Braves celebrate a world championship, beating the Astros 4-2, shutting them out on their home turf at Minute Maid Park. And as I mentioned a moment ago, shades of 1995 when another left-hander worked in Game 6 against another very impressive American League lineup. My partner Tom Glavine and Max Fried now have something in common, guys. Shutout ball in a clinching game.
Wow, that's got to feel amazing for Max. That's got to feel amazing for these two. So many similarities. Not many comparisons, Tom. Unfortunately, he throws a little bit harder than you, but you're both World Series champs and you both did it on a bigger stage. Well done to you guys.
And Max Fried doesn't have as much gray hair as Tom Glavine. However, he was very youthful in that tip of the cap picture on your left as Max Fried, Tom Glavine. Wow, have yourselves a Game 6. Well, as you'd expect, can't wait to hear from Max Fried. He's standing by with Paul Bird. Boy, what a redeeming game for Max, who quite honestly struggled in the starts leading up to this game against the Astros. Man, oh man, was he, as Brian Jordan said, Maximus.
Max Fried, everybody, a hero tonight on the mound. I'm going to ask you a question you maybe have never heard. I talked to some national reporters, and there's some people in the league that thought you were too nice to pitch, too humble. What do you have to say about that?
I'm a little different between the lines. I don't know, I get into a different mode and I'm just competitive. So when I step between the lines, I'm kind of a different person. I am I'm definitely nice off the field, but when I get on the field and I get between those lines, I just try to change it up.
That is such a great answer and so appreciated. I appreciate your fire on the field and your humility off. Now, you get stepped on. Braves country doesn't know how you have an ankle left, but you bounce back and you close that inning out with 98.4, the hardest fastball strikeout of your career. Your thoughts?
I just tried to empty the tank. I knew it was a big part in the game, and I knew that we needed to get out of that. So I just reared back and threw it as hard as I could and just tried to get out of the inning.
What does Max Fried look like excited winning the World Series? Did you go nuts in there?
I'm just exhausted at this point. I'm so tired. But I wouldn't want it any other way. It was everything that I've ever thought and dreamed of, and to be able to be out here and experience it and do it with this group of guys, it's there's not very many words for it.
Everybody talks about the adversity this team overcame, you included. Off to a rough start, best pitcher in the second half. Now you're getting ready to put a World Series ring on your finger.
It's hard to imagine. It's hard to, but it kind of just, it's the same thing that happened with the whole team. I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries that we've had to overcome, and a lot of talk saying that we couldn't do it. So to be able to finish on top and, finish with a win, it's not a lot of times you finish with your last game of the year as a win. So, I couldn't be happier, and it all doesn't really feel all that real, honestly.
How about Braves country, the fans coming out tonight?
They just indescribable. The amount of support that we've gotten, especially at home. Obviously our streak that we had where we, 7 in a row, obviously we wanted to close it out at home, but to be able to kind of get it done here in Game 6, it's really awesome, and I know everyone in there is excited to get back and celebrate.
Last one. Is the ankle even sore?
A little bit, a little tight, but I'll take it. I'll trade it for a World Series win.
Max Fried, he's made of iron. The ankle is okay. He's ready to get home for that parade, and thankful for Braves fans. Well done, buddy.
He's not the only one, and man, oh man, the battery was unbelievable. You heard the guys mention it on the podium in the dais after the Commissioner's Trophy was handed out. First, you see the tweet from Minor League Baseball. Max Fried, yes, he is very good at baseball. Packed house inside Truist Park, packed house outside Truist Park. Can you guys imagine what the parade's going to be like in Atlanta in the next 2 or 3 days, whenever they get the details of that sorted out, what that's going to mean for this city, for this region, and more importantly for Braves country, not just in Atlanta, but all across the Southeast. This truly was a monumental moment, and as everybody's talked about, a long time in the making.
It's a long time in the making, but also what happened last year to this year with the shortened season last year. Yeah, they struggled in the postseason against the Dodgers with a 3-1 lead. They couldn't pull that off. And then you come back this year, you aren't necessarily the favorites, but this team, this city, everybody believed in this club. And to see what they were able to accomplish, I think it's going to be huge coming back home for the parade. My family wants to come, and that's a kind of a big deal. But everybody around here wants to be here and celebrate this World Championship for this team in this city.
Yeah, I remember when I first joined the Braves, we used to do those caravans. And those caravans would go from Atlanta to South Carolina, North Carolina. We would go all over the place. So Braves country is a massive, massive area. I didn't know that. I thought it was just Atlanta. So to see the amount of people show up here, show up at the stadium, show up in Houston. When I got here, this was America's team because we're on TBS. All of a sudden, I go all over the place. There's Braves fans everywhere. This is a massive win for Braves country, massive win for everybody, not just Braves country in the Southeast. All over the U.S., there's Braves fans.
It's great. And for me, this is a special year simply because nobody expected the Braves to do it. And you heard John Smoke say it. In 1995, they were supposed to do it. They were expected to do it. But this team this year, nobody thought this was going to happen. And the fans have flocked out because they understand how special this year is. And it's going to be epic in this parade because all the Braves country all over. And I even had a Mets fan out here tonight.
What?
Cheering for us and getting autographs. So they are even happy for us, keeping it in the East. So I can't wait for the parade.
I have a feeling there's going to be some Braves fans that are going to go from now and not stop until that parade stops.
I think there's 4 of them at the dais that will probably take that advice. Freddie Freeman has been here a long time. He was here during the rebuild, got a big contract to be the cornerstone, the anchor of the Braves rebuild. He's survived and flourished through those bad times. Well, tonight, the ultimate moment for him, a home run in the World Series, and he's now a world champion, Peter.
And let's not forget how the previous series started for old Frederick. He had a bit of a struggle there, so for him to turn it around then. But I'm so happy for Freddie the man. Exactly what you said. He's dealt with so much. He's had to be here through all the bad times. He's been that guy that played every single day, whether they had something to play for or not. He's strapped on the cleats, and he played every single day. And he is the ultimate professional. I cannot imagine him being in any other uniform except for the Atlanta Braves uniform. I really hope we can get that done. Let's not talk about that now. Let's worry about the really exciting things. And look at Chelsea. I'm shaking. We're all shaking. Let's go. I'm sure Charlie's down there somewhere losing his mind.
If she's shaking, how can she tweet?
Right.
Well, look, everybody's excited for Freddie Freeman. And now, obviously, the next question, the elephant in the room is, will Freddie Freeman be an Atlanta Brave on opening day next year? We all hope that will be the case. That's a decision for Freddie, Alex Anthopoulos, and their mutual representatives to figure out. But tonight's not the time to talk about that. Tonight's the time to talk about what the Braves accomplished in 2021. And Freddie Freeman, let's hear from the Braves captain, the Braves anchor, and the reigning MVP in the National League, who's now a World Series champion.
Freddie Freeman, who's proudly worn the Braves jersey for 12 years and wanted to get to this World Series stage. What does it mean to call yourself a world champion?
That's everything you could dream of, really. This is what you work for when you show up. It's day one in spring training, and year after year it didn't happen, and this year it did. I've been seeing banners up outside that says 2021 World Champions Atlanta Braves. It's pretty special and amazing what this group did.
And it feels like on that stage there was a moment with Brian where you got to recognize what you'd done with him.
Yeah, Brian, he's just an amazing human. I've always said, like, when people get positions of power like Brian got when he was manager, he was the same person when I came up as a third base coach, and he cares about the person more than the player. So he's put on every hat possible in this organization. So many people he's coached and managed, and he got the job in 2016 and manager of the year, 4 division titles, and now a world championship. It's a pretty good 6-year run right there.
Yeah, I'd say so. What are you going to remember most about this group and this specific season and journey?
It's just the resilience, I think. I've kind of given the analogy that we're a car and there's potholes and bumps, and we hit every single one you could possibly hit during a course of a season, and even into the course of the postseason. We losing Soler to COVID, Charlie Morton breaks his leg, and somehow we made it over that pothole and we made it over that bump and to be world champions. It's just, it's an amazing group. I mean, it doesn't surprise any of us because since the trade deadline, we've been the best team in baseball, and we just carried it over into October and November.
And now November. I feel like this may be a little corny to bring you back to the whole narrative thing, but you said you wanted to kill it. How does it feel to change it entirely?
That's nice. Mark brought it up in the interview room, and I said, I'm so glad I don't have to hear those questions anymore, but they were warranted. I understand, but this city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia, Braves country in the whole, have been so hungry for a championship for so long, and for us to be able to fulfill that, and we saw what was happening in those 3 games during the World Series and how awesome the fans were, and we heard that they were sold out in Truist and Battery, and we get to come home to see them in a couple of days, and I'm looking forward to it.
Can you imagine what that parade's going to be like?
No, I can't, because I don't know, so we're all going to go in this together, blindfold, coming off and seeing this amazing thing, so I just can't wait.
I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, Freddie.
Year, and here we go. You're a good luck charm.
Well, yeah, I won't go there with 5 years ago today. Chuck remembers, but you were hungry.
Yep.
The World Series champion Freddie Freeman is going to go get dinner at, I don't know, is it midnight now?
I don't even know. I'm just hungry. Been doing a lot of talking, so I can't wait to eat.
Go enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, Kelly Luting 5 years ago tonight, the Cubs won the World Series and broke their curse. The Braves broke one tonight after their drought since 1995, and Freddie Freeman has tied Fred McGriff for most home runs in a single postseason in Braves history. Jorge Soler had 3 in the World Series to win the MVP honors. So, look, I think it's safe to say how ironic. Freddie Freeman wears number 5 homers. Perhaps his number will someday be on the facade of the third deck here at Truist Park.
Can I just make one more point, too?
Sure.
So let's not forget what happened with the elbow, too. So the last couple of postseasons for Freddie, frustrating when he had to do with the elbow. Last year with a short season, obviously won the MVP. We get beaten by the Dodgers after going up 3-1. To turn around and turn this into a World Series championship this year, just a year later, after having to deal with everything that they've dealt with. I know we mentioned it multiple times, but it's even leading into the last series. We lost our leadoff hitter, and we still managed to find a way to win. That's the kind of thing that this team needed to win this thing.
And remember, Freddie Freeman is a guy that leads in the clubhouse too. We know he's going to have the numbers at the end of the year. Yeah, MVP last year. This year was incredible once he got going. But he holds people accountable in that clubhouse. And when your leader's able to do that and perform on the field like he does, it makes a big difference. He wants those guys to go to the post every single day. He expects them to go every single day. He plays hurt. He plays with nagging injuries, and he expects everybody else to do that too. And that's one thing that BJ, that Brian Sticker attributed to the success of this team is Freddie Freeman having those guys come out every day and expect to play.
And it's been a hard season for Freddie Freeman. You know, with all having the twins and everything coming into the season, got off to a horrible start. One of the worst starts I've ever seen out of Freddie Freeman, but he dealt with it. And he continued to work through it and overcome those obstacles and have one of his better seasons of his career, a world championship. It says a lot about Freddie Freeman, the character that he brings to this ball club. And I know we don't want to talk about it. I just hope we get it done. And he's here the whole career.
Well, one of the trademarks of this ball club has been under Brian Snitker, the phrase, and it's kind of a cliche now, never quit with Snit.
Yep.
When all the chips were against him, all the odds were against him, this team continued to soldier on. And we've talked a lot about all the big pieces that were missing from this team. One guy we forgot to talk about is Travis d'Arnaud. Silver Slugger last year, a guy that's responsible for handling your pitching staff behind the plate. How satisfying is this night for Travis d'Arnaud, who missed half the year with a torn ligament in his catching thumb? Well, he's healthy, or at least as healthy as he can be this time of year. And more importantly, he's a world champion, and he too standing by in Houston.
Travis d'Arnaud, everybody, you were quick to remind me of all the catchers you went through, how proud you were of your guys. This whole team has faced adversity. What's it like now being a world champion?
It blows my mind. You know, to be 3 games under 500 in July, August, and now to be world champs is pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
Chase, your family's here, everybody exciting. What kind of moment is this for you personally?
Oh, I just think of the flips I had when I was 3 at my brother's t-ball game. My dad flipping me the ball and me hitting the balls in the trees. And unfortunately for Chase, a lot of the parents are watching me hit instead of him. But yeah, a lot of memories of family, friends, you know, just growing up playing baseball, and now to be a world champion is pretty tight.
When Max Fried got stepped on in the ankle and you guys go out there and talk to him, what was going through your mind?
Well, first I was thinking, I hope he's out. But when he wasn't, I just thought of Cincinnati last year. Max messed up his ankle before the game, and he went out and threw 7 shutties. So I wasn't really too worried about it.
Guy's a warrior. Yes. How about the Atlanta fans? Everybody's talking about this parade coming up. It was really loud in the stadium. How much are you looking forward to going back home?
I can't wait to get back home. I wish we would have clinched it at home for the fans, but it's just an honor to be able to clinch it here for the city of Atlanta, and I can't wait for the parade.
I'm going to let you hold this, okay? I'll let you look into the camera. This is the quarterback, the team captain, the catcher. How thankful are you for the fans?
I'm so thankful for you guys. The energy you guys bring every single day is contagious, and being on the other side, it sucks playing in Atlanta. I've definitely got the nerves of the loud crowds, and I'm thankful to be on the right side this time.
I go back to Brad Pitt in Moneyball, where he said, how can you not get emotional about baseball? You could see the emotion from Travis d'Arnaud. And Grant McCauley, our pal, who has covered the Braves for a long time, said, yeah, the narrative in Atlanta sports is done. Braves have another world championship, and hopefully it's the first of many to come in this era of Atlanta Braves baseball. Atlanta takes down the Houston Astros. Dansby, Freddie, Max, Snit, Travis, Will. BJ, Peter, Nick, and even yours truly, world champions. 7-0 your final score. We continue from the Battery after the break. You guys are going to be Braves Media Guide next year. And Brian Schnitker is exactly right. That is what makes baseball so wonderful. The indelible memories of hosting the World Championship.
He forgot to pull his goggles down. Come on. Come on, Snick.
It took the man 45 years to win a title. He's out of practice.
It's
However,
worth the pain.
It is worth the pain indeed. As the Braves celebrate in Houston, Texas, the champagne is flying. There will be a parade in Atlanta in the days to come as your Atlanta Braves, for the first time since 1995, are at the pinnacle of the Major League Baseball world in most improbable fashion here in the 2021 season. Yep. Got to give him goggles lessons.
He's blind. He's blind right now.
He is blind right now, but he's loving every single minute of it.
Slit's such a gamer. I think he just poured them into his goggles and just put the goggles on. He just wants to feel it all the time. That's
it. Would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. Peter Moylan, Brian Jordan, Nick Green, Chip Carey with you in Atlanta. What a night. The Braves shut out the Houston Astros 7-0 in Game 6 of the World Series after falling in Game 5 here at home. A lot of folks wondered what was going to happen in Houston, Texas in a hugely important Game 6. Jorge Soler bidding to be the MVP, and he did not disappoint tonight, guys.
I love this too with 2 outs, 3-2 count. Went deep into the count. Only saw 2 fastballs in this at bat. He knew that right off the bat. 446 feet. His 3rd home run of the World Series. I just love the move, moving him to second spot in the order. He had a leadoff home run in Game 1. He had the go-ahead home run in Game 4 as a pinch hitter. And today, 3-run home run in the 3rd inning to put the Braves up 3-0.
He doesn't look like he's going to stop hitting for the rest of his life.
No.
I hope he can do it in a Braves uniform.
That's right.
For a long, long time. I love Georgie. Moving on to the 5th inning, runner on second base for Danzy, and he looks to add to the Braves' lead here with 1 out. And he said, you know what? I'm going to do that right now with this fastball. Deposited into the Crawford boxes. It was such a great at-bat for Danzy, too. Fought off a couple of sliders, really tough sliders. Kind of missed a couple of hangers, if I'm honest. And then they thought, you know what? I'm going to try and trick him right here and blow a fastball past Dansby Swanson. We all know that can't happen, and he made him pay with a beautiful, I think it was about 375 feet to the Crawford boxes. Later in that inning, Soler on first, Blake Taylor in to pitch to Freddie, and he decides, hello, I'm going to hit this ball off the wall. I'm not going to take that hanging slider and let you call that a strike. He takes it up to left center, scoring Soler, who was running on the pitch. Braves are up at this point, 6-0, BJ.
Add on runs.
Everything was looking good coming into the 7th inning. That man, once again, Freddie Freeman, he goes apple taco right here, guys. Oh, my. That pitch was down and away. And nope, that looked like it was across the middle and down. And he goes apple taco. Freddie having a huge final game of the season.
Hey, love the emotion. Love it.
I do love it. I love that Charlie's there as well, but I feel like Will Smith was destined to get in this game at one point. I feel like we've overlooked him a little bit in this postseason, although this right here makes it 11 shutout innings for Will Smith in the postseason, 6 saves, 2 wins. Braves win the World Series. Braves win their first World Series, BJ, since 1995. They hadn't been to the World Series since 1999, Chip. This was special.
And you can see it on the faces, the group hug in the infield in Houston, Texas. Freddie Freeman, that's the shot I love the most.
That's amazing. I can't wait to do that myself with Brian Snitka when they get their sweet behinds back here, whenever that is.
And here's your Academy Sports and Outdoors Game 6 game summary. Braves out-hit him 7-6. Max Fried was brilliant. Luis Garcia pitching on short rest. Look, let's face it, the Astros just ran out of pitching. Braves hit 3 homers tonight. Jorge Soler, the World Series MVP for Atlanta. Their first World Championship since 1995. Let's hear from a plethora, that means a lot, of Braves players as they celebrate a World Championship down at Minute Maid Park.
What does it feel like, Will, to call yourself a world champion?
I don't know, just all the hard work you put in. your family goes through the struggles with you. And just to be standing here with being the best team left standing, it's pretty incredible.
I saw that hug between you and Snitker. Describe the emotions and what you're thinking when you're hugging him, saying no one can take this away from us.
I mean, he rode with me through the ups and downs this year. He never lost confidence in me. I never lost confidence in myself. So to be able to share that hug with him and throw the 9th inning when sometimes this year it didn't look like I was going to be throwing the 9th inning, it's pretty special.
Did it feel a little different on this stage tonight with the final 3 outs that we're going to bring this title home?
No, just another day at work. 7 runs helps, that's for sure. But, I mean, our offense carried us today. The boys that threw in front of me, lights out as always. Max, unbelievable. Just everybody. It was incredible.
It's been a fun ride. You've got the night shift nickname, all of it. But what will you remember most about this group?
Winning the whole damn thing. That's it.
Go enjoy it, Will.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Adam Duvall, everybody. He's from Louisville. Y'all know that. Incredible. You are a World Series champion.
Man, that sounds great. That sounds great. If you would have told me 2.5 months ago that I would be right here, I thought you were crazy. But it's incredible just coming in and the group of guys that we have here. You can't say enough.
You led the league in homers. RBI came through again in the playoffs. Big grand slam last night. But how about Soler tonight? Did he get into that one?
Man, I just remember watching it going out of the stadium, and I was like, man, that's like, the perfect word is majestic. Majestic homer, World Series homer. It's, he can put a charge into it.
Your offense in general really showed up tonight. It was a very complete game. Good offense, good defense. Max Fried on the hill, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, for the last game of the season, that's how you want to end it. You want to put it all together, and that's what we did tonight. We all sides of the ball, we did unbelievable.
Last one. Did you notice the Atlanta Braves fans here tonight fighting it out, cheering?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can the ones here, you can hear them, and then we can feel the ones back at home. We know how much it means to them. We know how much they want this, and we can't wait to bring this thing back.
Some incredible players on this team, on and off the field. Mr. Humble, a superstar, Adam Duvall. Everybody.
Can I ask you why you're getting ready to cry? What are the emotions?
It's because this whole team, it's the failure we've been through, the heartaches we've caused, the heartbreaks. I'm responsible for probably half of them, and it feels so good just to come out on top for once. And I know the fans back home in Atlanta, I wish we could have done it at home, but it feels so special just to finally get it done. I know the fans have been through so much, and they deserve it just as much as we do.
They would be tears of joy then, is
For
what
sure.
you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make it sweeter, this journey, because of what you were just talking about?
It does. And this team it's been just a whole story this past season, just the past 5 seasons, the past 6 seasons. I mean, we wouldn't be here without, the Julio Terrans, the Mike Foltneviches, the Mark Melances, the Darren O'Day, the Peter Moylan's. I mean, showing us the Charlie Culbersons. I mean, it's been a whole organization win. And speaking of, I mean, the coaches down in AAA, I mean, I got sent down in AAA, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the coaches in AAA, just to help me overcome adversity, to make me feel more confident and try to help this team out as much as I could.
Peter Moylan, he just gave you a shout out. You hear that, pal?
One of the best teammates I've ever played with. Thanks, Pete.
He's back in Atlanta right now, hosting the show.
You deserve this as much as we do.
You've said to me a number of times how special the chemistry is, and it takes that to be standing where you are. But why was it this group that came together the way you did, AJ?
It's hard to put a finger on it, but all I can say is it's the love we have for each other. We were probably, one of the worst pitching staffs team in the first half, and we just had to know we had to get to the All-Star break, and we had to regroup. And shout out to Alex for believing in us and going out there and becoming, buyers. And once we got, the new guys coming in, everything turned around, and we became one of the best teams in baseball. And it's all about what makes baseball so special. I mean, it's not the best team that wins, it's the team that plays the best that day. And I feel like we played the best that day in the second half each and every day, and that's what made us win the World Series.
It's funny. I feel like Jacques might have said something like that. Just a little bit of love, and we have that.
I mean, it's touche, but that baseball is such a weird sport, and you just have to believe, and you have to believe in each other as teammates. You have to be good teammates, and that's all these guys in the clubhouse. That's what we do best, is just be good teammates. We might not be the best players, but we're going to have fun, and we're going to love each other.
I can't believe, first of all, I don't want to keep you here all night, but I feel like I could, because it is so much fun to talk to you. But it was spring training nearly 2 years. You and me and Josh are laughing about bringing this back to White House High School. And here you are, what, 3 hours away now?
I know, and we got 2 World Series rings going back to East Texas. I mean, sorry, Patrick, but you set the milestone for us, and we got it done, and we're coming back to Tyler, Texas, World Series champions.
Okay, I want a big smile on your face. Tell me how you're celebrating this one now.
Oh, it's going to be a whole week of celebration. We can't wait for the parade on Friday back home in Atlanta, and we're going to show the world how Atlanta parties.
We're proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm with A.J. Minter, 4th World Series in franchise history, 2nd here in Atlanta. What a remarkable run in the postseason, where the Braves were so dominant here at Truist Park. 3 pinch hit home runs, Jorge Soler the MVP. And as you heard a moment ago, the parade sounds like, Nick, it'll be at the end of the week here in Atlanta.
Is that going to give us one more day to celebrate, and then we go into Friday and really celebrate? That's how it works?
Well, I'm sure those are all part of the plans that Derek Schiller and Mike Plant, Terry McGurk are figuring out. Let's talk to the Braves president, Derek Schiller. He too standing by with Paul Byrd after this historic night in the history of the Atlanta Braves franchise.
President and CEO of the Atlanta Braves, been with the organization for 18 years, but even longer growing up as a kid. How happy are you right now?
I am very happy, and I am very happy for this team. They just, they persevered through so much. They deserve it, and we're all beyond words to explain this. It's just so gratifying to watch all those things that worked against us, injuries and the like, all the rough patches that we had. A lot of people counted us out. Heck, they counted us out in July. They counted us out in August, and here we are. We're the last team standing. It feels really, really good.
Speaking of adversity, that happened on the field with a lot of players. It also happened with you, the All-Star game. You were hurting. You've talked about that. What does that mean now that the city of Atlanta is champions?
Well, look, I mean, these are 2 different events, obviously. The World Series is so much more because it's the total team accomplishment at the end of the year. And, only one team can say that they've won their very last game. Losing the All-Star game was hard. It was very hard. And let's take all the politics and everything else out of it. We prepared for 2 years on it. And so, it was rough. Like there's a series of events that took place on the field that were hard. Acuna getting injured, the Soroki injury, Azuna, like all these things. And then there are also a whole bunch of things off the field, right? You had the pandemic and, all of the challenges that everybody's faced in our community. You had, things that our employees faced. We were prepared, and wanted to welcome the world. And, we kind of did. It just so happens that it happened in October.
You did it a little later. Last one for me. The Atlanta Braves put a lot of fans in the seats tonight, and they were rowdy. How proud are you of your fans?
They showed up all year long, so it doesn't surprise me one bit that they were there in force tonight. We had all these people that were sending videos and pictures of what the Battery was like, what Truist Park was like. I'm so happy that they got a chance to participate, in that way. And we're really looking forward to getting home with that World Series trophy in tow, and we will make sure that we will hoist it high and represent Atlanta very proud. This one's for the A.
Derek Schiller with a knockout interview. We're celebrating again. If I understood him right, it's going to be big.
That wouldn't surprise me a bit, Paul Byrd. It'll be big. It'll be spectacular, as was Jorge Soler's World Series performance for Atlanta. got things off to a great start tonight with his long 3-run homer. He knew it was gone over the train tracks, kind of like Albert Pujols and Brad Lidge in the playoffs oh so many years ago. Let's hear from Jorge Soler, who's at the podium with Braves shortstop Dansby Swanson, who also homered in tonight's 7-0 Atlanta series-clinching win.
That's been the vision in this organization, obviously for a long time, but definitely for us. I mean, there's been so many guys that have put in so much work over the years to make this moment possible, and we've been grinding away at it for a long time, and it's such a special moment.
How special is it that you guys all did it together, coming up through Rome, Mississippi, and the whole?
I feel like that's kind of like the one thing that really sets us apart is how organically it's been created. The love and compassion for one another, and the friendships. Those are all real. There's nothing that we do that's for cameras. Even if we give each other a hard time about it, we really do things for each other. So it's very real.
Claudia, first row on your left, guys.
Jorge, congratulations. Este juego puede bajarle el ego a un jugador y a un equipo rápidamente. ¿Qué significa ganar esta Serie Mundial y el trofeo del jugador más valioso?
Significa mucho para toda la organización, para los fanáticos, para mi familia. ¿Sabes? Este logro de verdad que es algo increíble y es lo que casi todos los jugadores quisieran.
The question was, what does it mean to win the World Series and be named the most valuable player? And it means a lot. It means everything to me, my family, the organization, and it's something truly special.
Gabe in the third row.
Dansby, this is your hometown team. We know how much you love Georgia and Atlanta. Can you just put into words just what it means to you to now be part of Atlanta history?
I wish I could. I'm a little numb. Me and Frank have been enduring through the Falcons for a few years now, and just it truly is so special. I mean, Atlanta is such a unique place. It's had a grasp of me ever since I was a little kid, and to be able to share that moment with the city of Atlanta is amazing. And I mean, the one quick story is, I was here in Houston when the Super Bowl happened, and it just kind of feels like, no better story could be written than God making us come back here and winning the World Series in Houston. So everything comes full circle.
Third row on your right, Bradford.
Jorge, can you describe what this season has been like for you after getting off to some struggles early on and then really starting to catch fire in July and then getting traded in July and then ending up where you are now? Can you just describe how that's gone?
Sí, cuéntame un poquito de tu temporada. O sea, obviamente tuviste tus dificultades cuando empezaste el año y después te cambiaron para este equipo y entonces te encendiste y saliste ahí corriendo. Cuéntanos, o sea, de la temporada entera, como... Sí.
Bueno, la temporada empecé mal la temporada, ya la segunda mitad me estaba calentando, me cambiaron para acá. Al principio se fue como un poco difícil porque, ¿sabes?, eran nuevos compañeros de equipo, pero al estar aquí como la semana me trataron como si fuera familia, algo increíble. Toda la organización, todo emocionalmente estaba bien y creo que ese fue el factor que pude seguir produciendo.
Yeah, obviously, like you mentioned, I got off to a rough start at the beginning of the season, and I felt like I started to heat up a little bit before the trade deadline. I was traded over here, and it was challenging at first. I felt a little out of my comfort zone. I didn't really know people, and so it was kind of tough to kind of go to a new place and start making those acquaintances and everything. But within a week, I felt right at home. Everyone in that clubhouse welcomed me in, and it felt instantly, after a little while, just like a family. And it just top to bottom, from the entire organization, since I joined, I always felt extremely welcomed here.
Do Ron and then Tyler.
Jorge, as Garcia went to 3-2 on you, and then go through slider, fastball, cutter, what was going through your mind during the sequence?
Sí, o sea que llegaste a 3-2 en la cuenta y te estaba tirando la recta, cutter y el slider. Cuéntanos en tu mente qué estabas pensando durante ese turno de bateo.
Bueno, ese turno estaba bien enfocado y yo pensaba, si me tira algo flojo creo que lo voy a poder conectar, y si me tira la recta voy a tratar de faulearlo, de darle foul, porque él tiene rompiente muy bueno. Estaba en 3-2 y no quería que pasara lo que pasó en el primer turno, que me ponchó con un slider malo.
I just kept battling, and I'd seen his stuff or whatever. And so I was sitting on the off speed, and I thought to myself, if he throws me an off speed pitch, I think I can connect and drive the ball. And if he throws me a fastball, I'm just going to try and foul it off and stay alive during this at bat. We got to 3-2, and I didn't want the same thing to happen in the first inning at bat where I struck out on the off speed pitch. So I was just kind of getting prepared for that.
Did you see the ball leave the ballpark over the train tracks?
Que sentiste que la bola salió del parque.
Sí, yo creo, realmente no vi bien porque desde que le conecté yo me viré para el dogado nosotros y, ¿sabes? Estaba celebrando.
No, I mean, I knew I hit it well, but to be honest, I immediately after I hit it, I turned around and just to look at our dugout and start celebrating. So I didn't really see it all the way out.
Tyler, on your left, guys.
Yeah, because he was posing it down, and I don't blame him. You hit a ball that far in Houston, you deserve to celebrate that. Here's some tweets from celebrities around Braves country. Big Boy chimed in. Yeah, he was fired up about Dansby Swanson, one of the 3 homers hit by the Braves tonight. Trey Young. Hey, the Hawks are on the clock. Trey, get it done, man. You came close last year. We're all pulling for you. It's your time indeed for the Atlanta Hawks. And Offset, your boy Jim. One of my all-time favorites. Braves, baby. Yes, indeed. Atlanta Braves Nation. And Gretchen Caney, our great producer. World champs for life. Gretchen on her way to Charlotte to produce some Charlotte's Hornets games for the next 5 weeks. Couldn't beat Houston, but her heart was in all that happened in this World Series clinching game down in Houston, Texas. Final thoughts as we celebrate a world title in Atlanta tonight. Well, on a celebratory night such as this, you always want to get as many guys who are instrumental in a title championship, and that was the case for the Braves. It truly was a team effort. We could be on till 6 in the morning talking to every single member of the Braves organization, but we'd be remiss if we didn't feature Luke Jackson and the incredible job he did in the final 2+ months of this regular season. Luke Jackson, a huge part of this Braves bullpen and a World Series winning club. He's standing by down in Houston.
But you're now a World Series champion.
Surreal.
Luke, what is it? Yeah.
Surreal, I think my emotions are probably terrible to read right now because I think I'm just in shock. I feel like we're playing tomorrow. I got to show up at the park, At 2 o'clock bus, I'll be here, crushing spread again.
When do you think it'll sink in?
I asked Will that. Me and Will look at each other like, we play tomorrow. He goes, I don't think it ever sinks in. I think you just kind of
ride the wave.
Yeah, you just don't have to go to the field. And we're probably, all the bullpen probably we'll probably just show up at the field tomorrow to hang out because that's what we like to do anyways.
Because you guys got along pretty darn well.
You ain't lying.
And I felt like AJ, just talking to him a few minutes ago, was really emotional. Really in his feels. Yeah.
I love that.
Why did that chemistry come together when it did and lead you to this point?
I mean, I was telling somebody earlier, it's just we'll text each other. I'll text the bullpen group chat at 1 o'clock in the morning, be like, hey, I'm going to get there early. You guys want to hang out? Everyone's like, heck yeah, I'll see you there. And I'll show up and we'll play hacky sack or drink beers or just kind of on an off day, hang out. And then game days, we show up at 1 o'clock just to eat together. We don't have to be there until 2:30 for stretch. We show up at 1 just to all eat together and then just putt around the clubhouse and just play games and joke around. It's just when you enjoy going to the field every day, I think it's a special thing.
Yeah, and did you talk about this moment in a sense? We could be the group, we're the ones after 26 years?
I mean, in July, I was making a joke with some of the guys. I said, if we win the World Series, I'll get it tattooed on me. And it was a joke, and now it's still a joke. I don't have any tattoos, so I don't think I'm going to get a tattoo of the World Series. But I told the bullpen they could pick something out, and I'll probably have a hip tattoo in spring training, so this is a thing. And they all just weren't, reminded me a second ago that this is a real thing. But I told them, I mean, if we can get there, we got a chance. We got enough heart in this team that, once we won Game 1 of the World Series, we're the best 500 baseball team in baseball, so it was guaranteed we were going to win. Like, everyone's like, who cares? It goes to Game 7. We play 500 baseball better than anyone else. We'll win, lose all the way to the end, you know?
And it worked out.
It worked out.
All I ask is that you let us be part of that tattoo experience.
Oh, gosh. I'll let you guys know if it happens. I may have someone in the bullpen just do it themselves. They can do it for me. Yeah.
Luke, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Luke, don't do that. If you need a good tattoo, we know a guy who has some experience. All right, final thoughts on this World Series winning night for the Braves, guys. Opening day is only 148 days away on March 31st. The home opener, when the Braves will get their championship rings and the hoist a World Series championship banner, is April 7th against the Cincinnati Reds. It's hard to encapsulate a 7-month journey that this team completed. But, guys, I'll give you the first crack at trying to do that tonight.
It's hard to explain because you never felt like throughout the course of the season this was actually going to happen. We hoped it was going to happen. I felt like they had the right people in place throughout the course of the season, but nothing ever came to fruition until after the All-Star break, and Luke Jackson says, yeah, we're the greatest 500 team ever. He's referencing the back-to-back win-loss for 17 straight games. But this team came together at the right time. They love each other. They play for each other. I don't know of any other team, BJ, that was more of a close-knit group that came together for all the right reasons. Every single one of those guys.
Yeah, I think Luke summed it up. You know, how the pitching staff came together as a family and they hang out and they do things together. I think every world championship team, they do things like that. And you just got to give Alex Anthopoulos, I keep going to Alex, a lot of credit for bringing this team together at the right time and gaining all that momentum. Now, the hard part is going to be this offseason. Who do you keep for next year with Acuna Jr. coming back, Soroka possibly coming back? I mean, it's going to be some serious decisions made, but let's celebrate this year. Congratulations to the Braves and the organization. They have done a phenomenal job this year.
I think the state of baseball is in a pretty good place when you look around, look at this team, look at who led this team, look at the people that were around this team in the front office, the people, the staff. This team wasn't the best team. It wasn't the most talented team. It was the team that believed in themselves the most, and that is what it takes to win a world championship. They proved it. They didn't win the most games throughout the regular season, but they got hot at the right time. They believed in each other, and Jock said it, a little bit of love, baby, that's all you need.
Well, I'll sum it up this way. The Braves team on the field was the sum of its parts. I think that is a great way to encapsulate our great crew at Bally Sports. I can't thank you guys enough for letting me invade your studio space during the playoffs. It's really been a lot of fun. But more importantly, for our game crew every day, when the networks take over, our guys and gals go home. For our great producers, our directors, our camera people, the fantastic people who bring you the images, the stories of this team on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You're a big part of it, too, and most importantly, you and Braves Country for letting us come into your living room every night. We couldn't do it without you. When things were looking bleak about 110 games into the season, well, you stuck with us, and the end result is a championship parade for the World Series champion Atlanta Braves. It's coming up later in the week, and we will air it for you on Bally Sports South, Bally Sports Southeast, and streaming live on the Bally Sports app. What an historic night in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Houston, Texas, for that matter. The Braves clinched their second Atlanta-era World Series championship. They knock off the Houston Astros. Join us on Friday, 10:30 on Bally Sports South. That's the official start of the parade as we celebrate all across the Southeast a World Series championship. For Brian Jordan, Peter Moylan, Nick Green, I'm Chip Carey. Thank you for joining us. We're world champions, and we'll see you Friday to celebrate.